Thank you, everyone, for attending today's webinar, Addressing the Knowledge Gap in Exhibiting. My name is Kate McCullough. I am DDW's Industry and Exhibit Operations Manager, and I am joined by the DDW Exhibits team. Chris Adams, our Industry Sales Manager, Claire LaFont, the Industry Sales Senior Coordinator, and Nia Murphy-Price, Industry and Exhibit Operations Senior Coordinator. The purpose of this webinar is to address the challenges most exhibitors are facing in the healthcare convention sector, and to provide beneficial insight and feedback from show management, DDW attendees, and other exhibitors that we feel will help you in your planning process. This presentation will last for about 30 minutes, and then we'll host a Q&A at the end. Now, should you have any questions throughout the presentation, please keep them in please type them, in the question box, and we will address them during Q&A. This presentation is designed to meet the following objectives. We will address the environmental, economic, and financial, and technological challenges facing exhibitors, recognizing the importance of reevaluating measurement and ROI, addressing the importance of marketing both pre- and post-show, and provide valuable resources and tools for exhibitors of all sizes to help improve their presence at DDW and future medical conventions. So let's get started. Please take a couple of seconds to read this quote. What does this statement mean to you and your marketing team? I think we can all agree that medical conventions and exhibitions have changed dramatically in the past few years. But let's ask ourselves, do we fully understand the what, the why, and the how things have changed? And are we making the appropriate changes necessary in our exhibiting approach? The one thing we do know for sure is that the rules have changed, and now so much the strategy. Let's discuss what has changed first. There are three major challenges affecting any convention plan, no matter what industry. The economic and financial challenge, which is the most challenging because most, if not all, economic and financial changes are out of our control. The environmental challenge, which is your internal corporate environment, and the technological challenge. So let's first address the economic and financial challenge. This is the most important because it is the driving force for both the environmental and technological challenges. As you know, we cannot control the state of the economy. The economy is what it is. The companies are making the appropriate budget cuts for sustainability. Mergers and acquisitions of pharma companies are going to happen, or drug patents will expire, opening up the market to generic drugs. And these factors are all cyclical and in many cases predictable, and most companies are able to adjust accordingly. The major change and challenge that must be addressed, because it's the one and only major factor that has changed the way exhibitors and attendees interact at medical conventions, is pharma code. By now, we should all be well educated on pharma code. However, do you fully understand, and are you willing to make the strategic changes that are extremely crucial and necessary to your marketing and convention plan? If you're a creative agency, are you making recommendations encouraging your clients to adjust to these changes? Now, we know these mandates have been implemented not to destroy the industry, but to make it transparent and to benefit the patient. This is also becoming a global change. Europe is implementing a nearly identical, if not stricter, mandate to its healthcare sector, and just recently Australia announced that they're doing so also. And healthcare is one of the most rapidly growing sectors of the economy, and because of this, it has become one of the most highly regulated. The rules have changed, and the era of tchotchkes has passed. You need to make the adjustments. You need to find and take advantage of the opportunities existing within these new rules in order to succeed. The following are environmental challenges affecting most exhibiting companies, specifically in the medical sector. The good news is that these factors are minor and can easily be changed. Now, the following may not apply entirely to all exhibitors, as smaller companies don't have the large teams within each of their departments. Their COO might be writing the marketing plan, handling booth logistics, and being the sole booth personnel on site. However, I think all of us can relate in some way to the following. First, is there a disconnect between your executive management, sales, and marketing teams as to what your brand position, marketing message, and expected deliverables are at conventions? If so, then you need to regroup and readdress your marketing strategy plan immediately. as this is the most important because you cannot lead a successful convention plan if you're not a unified group. I'll speak more to this in the next slide, but this is a very common issue in the corporate workplace. Second, make sure everyone is aware of their tasks and responsibilities. The roles of the marketing manager, creative agencies, and convention manager can easily be interconnected and overlap, and everyone ends up doing the same work. Lack of communication between these three roles leads to disaster in the planning process and takes away very valuable time because everyone is doing the same job and is constantly working in circles. I was a convention manager at a pharmaceutical company for 4 years, and I can't tell you how many hours I've lost that I'll never get back trying to unravel the mess that took place when myself and my creative agency secured different sponsorships for the same conference, and yet we never even knew it. And of course, last but not least, how many of you have had to handle a sales staff that shows absolutely no enthusiasm for having to work their booth shift or disregards the training meetings and does not review the booth layout or the literature handouts? I'm sure this is old news for many of you, but what once served as an incentive for the sales team seems to have become punishment. Now, don't get me wrong, there are exhibitors who attend DDW and other meetings and they bring their A game. They are engaging, they are excited to be there, no matter what the challenge is in the exhibit hall. They have smiles on their faces and they take advantage of the opportunities, and then the end result is that their booth is packed. It may not happen at every meeting, given the circumstances, but no matter what meeting you're at, an attendee would much rather visit a booth that welcomes them versus a booth that looks like they could care less. Unfortunately, these environmental challenges lead to poor results at the convention, and then leaves a negative perspective on exhibiting, and then your marketing budget is reduced. Now, initiating cultural change is a challenge from within and can sometimes be the most difficult change itself. I understand that. I've been through it. I've seen the disregard and the lack of attention to address it because there never seems to be enough time to do so. These challenges, though, are common, and they're unnecessary, and they lead to a missed opportunity to rebuild a well-oiled plan. This leads me to discuss how your teams are interacting with each other and how your convention plan is developed. Now first, does your team have an integrated marketing communications plan that aligns your convention plan with the overall strategy? If you don't, you should get one immediately. This is where a lot of the disconnect takes place because not everyone understands that the convention plan should be part of the overall marketing strategy. Also, who is attending your marketing strategy and convention planning meetings, or do you even have these meetings? Your entire team, including your convention manager and executive management team, should be attending these meetings because your entire team must be well-spoken on the company's strategy, the message, and the materials. Not including all parties in your marketing and convention planning meetings is inefficient, ineffective, and leads to nothing but disaster on site. You'd be surprised how many convention managers I know who are not involved in these meetings but then are expected to come in last minute and take care of all of the logistics, and then they're at a standstill because he or she doesn't know the actual plan. And if you have convention planning meetings, what is actually discussed? Talking about the convention statistics and your booth design is not effective. It is crucial that your marketing team presents a well-thought-out strategy plan that addresses the following conference objectives. Who is the influential audiences? What the persuasive message will be? And what the expected deliverables will be. These objectives, they must be addressed at every convention planning meeting, no matter how many times you've been to DDW or any medical meeting. And you know why? Because these objectives change. Your message may change depending on where you are in the market, and your deliverables certainly have changed. We all know that you wear different hats and are consumed with other projects that may be deemed priority. I've experienced it. I've actually believed that it was my company alone. It wasn't until I joined DDW and was able to get a panoramic view from the side of show management and I realized that this is a dysfunction across the industry. Your marketing and convention plan is vital to the success of your exhibit. Now, this is where DDW, we're here to assist you. If you need to rethink or integrate a convention plan into your marketing strategy, DDW's marketing team has created a template of a convention plan for you to utilize for DDW. It provides an overview of the meeting along with the recommended strategies, tactics, and deliverables. There's also a timeline that will help you guide your planning process. This is a valuable resource that will be made available to you for 2013. Anyone who is interested in this resource can reach out to myself or another member of our exhibits team for more information. Now, the final challenge to discuss is the technological challenge. In exhibiting, technology is crucial to proving your ROI. The challenge today is that technology is advancing faster than we can keep up with it. It changes at such a rapid pace that many of us do not have the time to research and identify the upgrades and capabilities that are available. Because of this, many exhibitors misuse technology and miss out on the capabilities it offers because they don't know how to use it. Whether using a basic lead retrieval or high-end interactive technology, you need to utilize its capabilities to its fullest. For example, if you're using a lead scanner at your booth, do you contact the company providing them to find out what the lead scanner's capabilities are besides scanning and collecting contact information? Do you use it to collect additional demographic information that is not available on attendee badges? What additional services does it provide outside your exhibit? Does it send instant follow-up emails? Can it infiltrate your fulfillment center so you can send e-literature on demand? Say you're using interactive technology in your booth. What kind of data are you collecting? Are you collecting data on the attendees using it? Do you track how long they're engaged, their likes, their dislikes, what they're learning from it? More importantly, do you know what the technology does? Here's a quick example of what I'm talking about. While at DDW last year, an exhibitor had built a new booth. It was a really beautiful booth, very clean with cool double-sided glass, touch screens, and touchscreen monitors built into the countertops. It drew a lot of attention from surrounding exhibitors. When I spoke to the marketing manager, though, to see how they were doing the meeting, she voiced a few of her frustrations and proceeded to tell me that not only did their creative agency propose this technology, they did so without knowing anything about it. They proposed it late, and they didn't have enough time to produce the actual game that was supposed to be displayed. In the end, they had electronic visual aids that were the same as the educational materials they were handing out. So no real interactive technology, and never programmed any tracking metrics. So all this money spent with nothing to show for it, not even data. So whatever technology you're using, I can't stress enough to be sure to give yourself enough time to plan accordingly. Do your research and ask any and every question you can think of regarding its capabilities. If you talk with your creative agencies, make sure they understand the technology themselves, or talk to someone that specializes in it, and be sure to have tracking metrics programmed. So if the way in which exhibitors and attendees are interacting has changed, so must the way in which you collect your data. This is one major challenge you all face. How will you measure your success at a meeting? Collecting contact information and basing your ROI on the lead count from your lead scanner just won't cut it anymore. You need to set deliverables that are both quantitative and emotional. Setting your objectives in your integrated marketing plan will help you determine what your expected deliverables are. Consider the following metrics during your planning process: the sales impact while on-site or after the meeting, your thought leadership opportunities. What valuable information do you want to collect from attendees? The promotional impact. Set a goal and ask attendees if they saw your ad in the daily news, or your bag insert, or even your banner. Did they like the message? Did they understand it? What did they like or dislike about it? And the cost avoidance of exhibiting compared to other vehicles. In other words, where are you saving your money by exhibiting? At the end of each conference, you and your team should be reporting back to the executive team on how the experience delivered against these 4 metrics to determine your success. You can set your metrics to what your company demands are. These are just recommendations based on what we've learned from exhibitors who are making these changes. Now, one of the most commonly asked questions we hear at DDW is, how will DDW guarantee attendees will go to your booth? Well, I prefer to answer this question from the perspective of the attendees and with additional questions. Why should the attendees visit your booth? What new information do you have? What product do you need to introduce? And what is the message that they need to hear? DDW doesn't have the answers to these questions. Only you, the exhibitors, do. So the next 2 slides provide extremely valuable information for you to take back to your teams to reevaluate your exhibiting presence if necessary. First, the following results from a SEER Index survey shows DDW attendees' top 3 types of face-to-face opportunities. Conventions, exhibits, and annual meetings garnered a response of 51%. And of these interactions, understanding the product and company information continues to hold the most value. This is pretty powerful feedback and reassurance that they do value their time in the exhibit hall. Also, a post-show survey conducted of DDW 2012 showed what attendees had to say about what they want and what they don't want from their exhibit hall experience. This is from attendees personally, and they say that they want to learn about your company, your product, your pipeline. Of course they want the giveaways, and of course they want food and beverage. We all know this. But they also are pretty clear on setting the boundary. They don't want to be sold to. They want to feel like they're welcome in the exhibit hall. They're welcome in your booth. Give them a reason to visit you. Your company is extremely valuable and important to the GI community. How will attendees know to visit your booth if they don't know who you are, where you are, and what it is you need to say? This is why marketing, especially pre-show marketing, is crucial. Now, let's take a look at what an exhibitor might do for DDW 2013. Let's say they reserve the 10 by 10 inline booth near the Bistro DDW. We'll host a satellite symposia on Monday evening and participate in the exhibitor excursion during the exhibit hall hours. Now, the exhibitor comes to DDW and says, okay, I've got these 3 channels I'm using to get my name out there. Where are the attendees? And we're going to ask you, have you told anybody about your booth? Did you do a pre-show mailing? Did you take an ad out of the Daily News? Did you perhaps purchase a bag insert or buy a spot on the industry showcase? When it comes to exhibiting, it really doesn't matter what channels you're using. If you don't tell attendees, if you do not tell your attendees about it and utilize the resources around you and available to you, how will they know about it? Now, we understand some of you don't have a budget to spend on pre-marketing. Some of you only have so much that you can spend on specific opportunities, and then your pre-marketing budget gets pushed aside. Again, this is where DDW can and wants to help you. DDW offers a free marketing media kit on our website, ddw.org, to all exhibitors. No matter what your budget size may be, any exhibitor can take advantage of any one, excuse me, or all 3, excuse me, or all 3 of these opportunities and use them to generate traffic to your booth. Utilize the free print ads, the postcards, or the online banners to promote your booth, your satellite symposia, and the exhibit excursion, or any other activity you're participating in. Right there, I just provided you with 3 different pre-marketing tools that you can use to reach out to DDW attendees, and you don't even have to pay a design fee. Now, don't forget your marketing on site. Other promotional opportunities that will guarantee attendee usage and your brand to be seen are through attendee service stations. Items such as water stations, hand sanitizers, charging stations, and refreshment breaks are great avenues to get your name in front of attendees. And we still have promotional opportunities available. So if you're interested, please visit our website at www.org, or contact Claire LaFont, our Industry Sales Senior Coordinator, for more information. Remember to always include a post-show follow-up in your marketing strategy. A thank you goes a long way, and surprisingly, exhibitors tend to forget this very important task. Remember to show the attendees you valued your time. Use your technology and send a thank you email after attendees stop by your booth, and include a visual aid, which is a great opportunity to utilize your electronic educational materials. You can even thank attendees throughout the meeting by saying thank you on the promotional opportunities you've secured. And never forget direct mail. It's still valued as an inexpensive channel to reach your leads. You can always send your lead report back to the office at the end of the day and have those postcards and/or your educational materials sent out. Remember those postcards from the marketing media kit. You can edit those. You can customize them, so you can use them for your post-show follow-up as well. Attendees will be grateful that you remembered, and they will be happy to see these items at their office by the time they get back. Another question we get from exhibitors is what DDW is doing to help draw traffic to the exhibit hall. So let me take a moment to go over the exhibit hall activities and the new activities we're introducing for 2013. In the first column, we have our existing activities. We have the exhibitor excursion, is very popular, the Bistro DDW, our poster hall, the surf and snack zone, the product theater, refreshment breaks, the recharge lounge. The My DDW kiosks, which are usually outside of the exhibit hall, are now we'll have a few set up inside the exhibit hall as well for attendees. In addition to this, we're adding, excuse me, we're adding some enhancements. So for example, the exhibitor excursion, we've added an instantaneous prize for all attendees participating. They will all receive a DDW t-shirt for completing their game cards. If you're participating or deciding whether or not to participate in the exhibitor excursion, this is great information for you to use to market yourself. We'll also be introducing some new activities into the hall. We're introducing some exhibit hall breaks, Sunday through Tuesday from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 3:30 to 4 p.m. We're also introducing a new opportunity to exhibitors and attendees, which I hope you'll all take advantage of, which is called the VIP morning meetings. This is an inexpensive opportunity that will allow exhibitors to meet one-on-one with VIP or prospective clients prior to the exhibit hall opening. Meetings will take place Sunday through Tuesday starting at 8 a.m. with the last scheduled meeting at 9:30 a.m. We're also marketing this to attendees, so should they want to meet with a specific exhibitor, they can either contact their sales representative and schedule the appointment, or they can contact DDW and tell us which exhibit they wish to meet with. Again, use your pre-marketing tools I showed you before and take advantage of this. The marketing materials are customized for VIP meetings, should you choose to participate. If you're in the exhibitor excursion, again, give the attendees a chance to get ahead of the game and meet with you before the hall opens. The application for the VIP morning meetings is located on our website under the Exhibitor tab. For more information, feel free to contact me directly. My contact information will be provided at the end of the presentation. Last but not least, we receive feedback all the time that the exhibit hall is always slow on the last day of the meeting, and this is common amongst all conventions. So this year, DDW will end the meeting with a closing reception on Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. in the exhibit hall. So you can use all of these new activities and enhancements as a marketing tool when you're reaching out to your attendees. So let's review what we've discussed. It's imperative that every stakeholder involved in the healthcare convention sector accept the challenges that are reshaping the exhibit hall and find the opportunities in them to succeed. Become a leader in this change. If you can relate to the disconnect I described to the environmental challenges, you should set up a meeting with your team and discuss reviewing or rewriting your integrated marketing and convention communications plan. It will take time, but the change is not impossible. Research and read up on your technology and be proactive about learning its capabilities. Remember, the way exhibitors and attendees interact in the exhibit hall has changed. Don't throw in the towel. Rethink your measurement strategy and reevaluate your expected deliverables. You want both quantitative and emotional deliverables. Reevaluate your exhibiting objectives and take advantage of pre-show, on-site, and post-show marketing. Remember, a welcome and a thank you go a long way. And these opportunities are also on our website to help you. The most important takeaway is to listen and learn from the attendees. They are the people you are there to see. Give them a reason to come to your booth. Meet them, engage with them, connect with them. And to reiterate what was said in the beginning of the presentation, those healthcare exhibitions, events, and professions that embrace change and the new realities will thrive. Those that resist change will stagnate. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you found this presentation beneficial and helpful to you and your team moving forward with your planning process. Now, should you have any questions or concerns, please contact any one of us on the exhibits team. If anyone is interested, these slides will be available once the webinar concludes. For right now, we will open the meeting for questions and answers. So if you haven't done so, please type in your questions now. We have some questions here. We're just trying to expand the box so we can actually read them. So give us 1 minute. Okay, so one question we have here is in terms of giveaways, tchotchkes, let's call them, beyond traditional and practical pens and notepads, what is still permitted? Well, if you abide by Pharma Code, your giveaways should be educational. They cannot be non-educational. So this can be anything from resourceful educational brochures. You can do DVDs of therapeutic studies, wall charts, and any sort of note. I see notepads out there that have they're very similar to the wall charts, and they have the same graphics. I've seen flip charts that physicians can use in their office and interact with their patients using them, or compendias. Anything that is educational is accepted. All right, we have a really good question. This is another question that we get a lot, which is why U.S. attendees are not visiting the exhibit hall. They are, though. We have a survey from DDW 2012 that showed that 9 out of 10 U.S. attendees do visit the hall, and the attendees who are in patient care were the group most likely to visit. Now, the majority of these attendees also said that they found the hall to be valuable or extremely valuable. So if you're not seeing U.S. attendees at your booth, consider some of the ideas. Do they know you're there? Are you doing your pre-marketing? How aggressive is your pre-marketing efforts? So for DDW 2013, we have over 250 booths. To stand out from your crowd, you need to do your pre-show marketing. Again, I just talked about the opportunities that we offer on our website. Feel free to utilize those if you can. Invite them to visit your booth. Send them, a bag insert, or do a door drop, or take an ad out. Order a pre-mailing list that we offer, and do a postcard mailing, do a brochure mailing. Do we have any more questions? Okay, we got one more. Why doesn't DDW offer a mailing list that is broken down by specialty or by U.S. attendees only? So the mailing list can be sorted in many ways, including U.S. We break the mailing list down regionally to give marketers access to the attendee names in their specified location. But unfortunately, we don't break down the list of attendees by specialty because we don't require the attendees to submit that information. The registration process is pretty lengthy, and we want to respect the attendees' time and privacy during registration, so we limit the amount of required demographic questions asked. But if you want to know more statistics about the attendees, please reach out to any member of the DDW staff, and we'll do our best to answer your specific question. But a big tip here is to don't segment down so specifically that you limit your reach. People talk, word of mouth is one of the biggest marketing efforts around, so a recommendation by a colleague is very valuable. All right, if we don't have any other questions, Thank you very much for attending the webinar. We really appreciate your attendance. And again, if you have any other questions or follow-up, please feel free to contact any one of us at DDW. Thank you.